It's up to us to step up to the plate and reach down and lift somebody up and pull somebody up with us. You know what I'm saying? Last year during the protest, I used to say every day a lot. I used to say, make sure nobody gets left behind. Nobody goes left. Nobody get forgot about. Nobody gets picked off. Nobody got to struggle. Make sure. You know what I'm saying? This is how you make sure. You acknowledge, you uplift, you empower, and you promote, and you celebrate your brothers and sisters or your fellow musicians or, you know what I'm saying, whoever, your business partners, your community members. You make sure. Make sure you good. Make sure you straight. And Pacino says, there's about to be a web series, a hood series on YouTube called Columbia. Not Columbia. Kill-umbia. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a basketball movie about Dwight Powder. You understand what I'm saying? It's a hood series. We was going to do one too for American Dream, but the quarantine fucked us up real bad. So I'm glad that y'all working on a series. You know what I wanted? I wanted the Unc and Fab show to take off too, with like personal interviews and West Coast history. But they trying to run they subscribers up to monetize their channel before they start making decisions, so that everything they post gets a monetary return. Which I can understand and respect that, but I still wanted them to be promoting the shit out of the Unc and Fab show. So I could fall back from the podcasting a little bit too and start promoting on my partner's podcast. Country Wayne. I know who Country Wayne is. I just came from Alabama. I spent 8 years out there. Country Wayne, he funny. Y'all follow him on Facebook. He always posting skits and videos, mostly about relationship stuff. It's funny. The other funny country dude is Eddie Harris. He's the jack boy. He always got a car jack in all his skits. So y'all check out two comedians out the South, Country Wayne and Eddie Harris. That's going to be tight. A hood series with Country Wayne. Sometimes Country Wayne is corny for the comedy aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like he drag out a facial expression too long. But the corny shit, the too long or the too stupid shit is for the comedy. It's an element of comedy, right? So I'm interested to see how his acting would be in a full-on series production. I think that's going to be good. That's tight. We got some good news this morning. That's some good things to promote. If y'all know, we have over 7,300 subscribers now on the Tagged app. On Facebook, we only had about 7,100. So before our pages got banned and deleted, permanently deleted, we had over 7,100 followers on each. So I'm glad to say, between two Tango apps, between the Tagged app live, between Ustream and the new Cherry Franklin pages, which all are about 80 subscribers or more, that we're now back over to about 10,000 followers. And that's not including YouTube or Twitter. My Twitter also and Instagram also tweets and broadcasts to about 2,000 plus followers as well. So y'all keep up the good work. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making me a top streamer. And thank you for my money. All of that, all of that, all of that. Again, y'all make sure you follow and promote with at Dope Era Magazine on Instagram. Big shout out to them for coming into the live a couple times today already. And congratulations to Marshawn Lynch becoming an honorary brand ambassador for the NFLPA. Y'all know the Raiders lost to the Chargers yesterday, but that don't matter because Las Vegas is building their team. One of our star players already got injured. But if you was an Oakland Raiders fan, then you already know it's Raiders forever. You know what I'm saying? When we went to Las Vegas for the Raiders game, I was there. Marshawn Lynch was there. His cousin that raps Cold Stacks was also there. Their cousin that raps Mr. Fab was also there. P-Lo was there. Lil Blood was there. Rich the Kid was there. ASAP Ferg was there. Okay? Too Short was there and Ice Cube was there. California was deep as fuck in Las Vegas for the Raiders. Okay? So let me just tell you something. The Oakland Raiders is not over. California is still Raiders fans. And if y'all don't know, a lot of motherfuckers in Cali be dick riding Las Vegas so bad. Like they love to gamble and be winning or something. Or got hella hoes that cash out. Like, bitch, you was not buying no houses off of them poor man hustles. You better get your act together. But anyway, say all that to say this. California was deep in Las Vegas for the Raiders, y'all. Despite the injury, one of our good players was injured. We're still keeping up a lot of positive energy. Really quick, before we get started on the news and the 4 stimulus check updates, I want to tell y'all this. You can make a difference in your city and state. Do what you can, where you can, when you can. If you know people who are able to vote, there's petitions on change.org for the Say Their Names hashtags: Justice for George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Vanessa Gillen, Elijah McClain, Ma'Khia Bryan, and Adam Toledo. Also a petition for the 4 stimulus check in the amount of $2,000. Both of those topics on change.org. 4, legalizing businesses, community programs, the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, public transportation, social distance measurements, politicians running for office in your city and state. Y'all visit vote.org if you are able to vote. Go make a difference, because once you change the laws in your city, you regulate the laws for the state. That's how you become able to do things like legalize marijuana. You know what I'm saying? For the whole country. Things like that. Release nonviolent marijuana offenders who got locked up. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. When you're able to use your voice, that's when we become a majority. When we all speak up and become that majority. All right. What's next on the menu? What's up? Another Oakland, California resident was Hannon. Welcome to the live stream. Big shout out to my partner. I was talking about music, D Good, Black Hoodie Gang earlier before we brought in Facebook and YouTube. This also a member, NYH Hemp, works with us here with the Black Hoodie Gang music projects. Big shout out to my partner. 5:30 a.m. I just heard a bunch of noise outside. It's Wednesday. That means the garbage is running. I hope they took the trash out, because I'm not in charge of that no more. Honey. Let me think. What the fuck do I need to tell y'all about today that I ain't thought about today? I don't know. We're going to check out YouTube really quick. Let's see what they have to say. 8 minutes, 20 seconds. All right, let's check them out. Let's give them a chance, shall we? We're about to roll a blend. We got Jungle Cake. We got Jungle Cake is really dark purple too and really pretty. And we got
Bernie Sanders is now
oh, I forgot what this other one is.
$3.5 trillion budget resolution price tag for the new spending bill. Folks, progressive lawmakers are offering to cut spending short to save President Biden's plan.
When I think of it, I'll tell y'all. I'll try to remember.
So you guys want to be sure to
THC levels. So Jungle Cake THC levels range anywhere from 21% to about 26, 27%.
Not new ones we've already incurred. This is going to undermine the safety.
Do you know that Jungle Cake is also, I believe, from the Cookies family? Y'all, the Cookies family is like gelato, wedding cake, birthday cake. If you hear cookies and cake, motherfucker, that's like within that family of hybrid. And you know what I'm saying?
Here's what it is. They won't vote to raise the
Northern California, Bay Area type weed, motherfucker.
Democrats voted with them to
what they call rapper weed, burner cookies brand weed. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
But then they're threatening to use a procedural power called a filibuster, meaning that we have to get 60 votes, not 50 votes, to increase the debt limit.
Y'all, my voice is almost gone. I'm finna make some hot tea so we can keep the show popping.
So let's be clear. Not only are Republicans refusing to do their job, they're threatening to use their power, to prevent us from doing our job, saving the economy from a catastrophic event. I think, quite frankly, it's hypocritical, dangerous, and disgraceful. Their obstruction and irresponsibility knows absolutely.
We got somebody disrespecting my name out here.
Clawing my way out
if I get up off the couch and rise the power and get back in the streets and shit,
and obligation.
I'm gonna have to correct a couple things, and I'm not looking forward to it.
To do their part. They made it clear from the beginning. We tried asking.
I don't play games with my body. I don't play games with my name or my time on this earth.
Tricks to block us from doing the job that they won't do.
If y'all see me with some hoes at the end of this month, just mind your business.
Democrats are going to do all the work. Stop me.
It's Halloween too.
Do our job. Just get out of the way.
Ugly bitches could be fine. You know what I'm saying?
Get out of the way so you don't destroy it.
The end of this month.
We don't have time to delay with elaborate procedural schemes, which Republicans' proposals require.
Don't try to smash me for Halloween and then call me back the next week.
Many of which have nothing to do with the debt limit.
Like, bitch, I didn't want to be with you. I wanted to be with Elvira.
Before the end of this week, the Senate must get a bill to the president's desk to address the acute crisis of the debt limit. President Biden was crystal clear in his speech this morning.
No,
if Republicans don't get out of the way and let the Senate take action now, our government will in all likelihood enter default for the first time ever. Sadly, the Republican position as the party of default has now become so extreme that they blocked every single attempt to prevent a default from happening, putting our country in serious, serious danger. They've gone so far as rejecting their own requests.
Now, folks, let's go over the most important news first. House proposals are looking for ways to rescue President Biden's stalled domestic agenda. And they have opened the doors to scaling back some of the
y'all get in this smoke session.
By having those programs expire rather than be permanent.
Really quick, y'all, I'm going to do a timestamp real quick and bring everybody up to speed that's just joined in. Y'all, it's 5:36 a.m. here on the West Coast, Northern California, Stockton, California to be exact, baby. Murder Valley, aka Central Valley, California. Just 1 hour, 15 minutes past 4:20, y'all. We're about to get into the smoke session. And hopefully get some information on this stimulus check. Now, what they're trying to say is in the White House is the Republicans keep fighting against the stimulus package proposition. If y'all been paying attention, Bernie Sanders and the Democrats been trying to get us a $2,000 check since July of 2020. It is now almost the end of 2021. Biden is going to have to answer for his irresponsible inaccountability this whole year for unemployment extensions, for eviction protection programs, and funding and paying rent, past due rent, the PPP loans, and the debt ceiling being raised to keep coming up with stimulus packages. But if you're not using these packages to fund and save and bail out the families across the U.S. that you remove from being able to be a part of the workforce and put on unemployment, then essentially you're borrowing money from the government for law enforcement agencies, for corporations, and for governments that the American taxpayers is going to have to pay back when these governments and corporations are not looking out for the American taxpayers. It's a problem with them giving that check out in the first place. It was made for them to get votes. No, it's something that they're using. They're stalling on coming true and making good on their word. They're stalling and trying to use that excitement to control votes. But that's definitely something that's necessary for a healthcare pandemic that shuts down the whole country. Like, you definitely need stimulus checks. Obama and other presidents in the past have used bailouts to bail out companies. Well, you didn't just tell one company to shut down and then we'll bail you out. You told the whole country you can't go outside because it's not safe. You can't go anywhere without a mask. And public gathering places and public transportation and public services are shut down, such as schools, courthouses. You know what I'm saying? Buses, things like that. So it's really not right for them to keep coming up with stimulus budgets and packages that fund other things besides American taxpayers. Not when major corporations have made billions of dollars in the past several years and haven't had to pay taxes. It just don't make sense because we have to pay taxes every day, every check. Every time we earn income, we have to pay taxes. So why would you not reimburse the American people for funding this country this whole time? Government creates jobs, but not many. A lot of these things you have to be educated and certified to be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and also the government don't gotta miss work. They don't gotta miss work. They don't gotta shut down. They don't gotta close for business. Bitch, they can't close for business. We're a country every single day. We pay taxes every single day. How dare you eat off the American people and not fund us and regulate our funding? While you stuff in your pockets every day. Some of us is going hungry and missing meals. I didn't eat 2 days when I went to Las Vegas. I was so over that whole trip, I almost left a day early. I should have left a day early. These motherfuckers in the government have budget for furniture. You know what we have to do? We got to borrow folding chairs from a church or a school. You understand me? And we get up and make multiple sources of income every single day. Government just has one job: to vote on funding for the American people and for this country. It's not that hard. Do your motherfucking job. Stop ruining people's lives and killing off people's lives and futures because your greedy bitch ass thinks something when there's actual real problems happening every single fucking day. All right, with that being said, fuck the government. We're going to let the rest of this video play. Then we're going to get on some instrumentals. We gave Facebook and YouTube 18 minutes so far. We're at least going to try to give them 30. So let's get back to the video, y'all.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
See what they have to say.
Members in Congress, everybody, pushing for more stimulus payments. But what do you think about the Democrats? But tell me, everybody, which political parties holding back our stimulus payments? Democrats or the Republicans? Tell me in the comments below. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez told reporters that one of the ideas out there is to fully fund what we can fund. But instead of funding it for 10 years, fund it for only 5 years. So Democrats are also looking for ways out of the deadlock after 3 days after Nancy Pelosi scuttled their planned votes.
You know, they've been fucking up voting. They said in Georgia that they was turning people away from the voting booths.
Treated them as progressives.
So they didn't get no accurate vote count in Atlanta.
The $3.5 trillion social safety net spending and tax increases that they want. What do you think about this, everybody? Can Nancy Pelosi get the job done? Can she send out more stimulus checks before the end of the year? And do you believe that Nancy Pelosi is doing all that it takes to help out the American people? Tell me in the comments below, everybody. Now, progressives say they're willing to compromise for that number within limits. And Premier Jay Powell rejected Senator Joe Manchin's offer of a $1.5 trillion in social spending. Premier Jay Powell told CNN that is not going to happen because that is too small to get our priorities in. So it's going to be somewhere between 1.5 trillion and 3.5 trillion. And I think the White House is working on that right now. Because remember, everybody, what we want to deliver is childcare, paid leave, and climate change housing. Camilla Powell said that reducing the length of time for authorizing that spending can provide a path forward. Federal budget rules tally spending in 10-year budget windows, so authorizing spending for only 5 years would significantly cut down the price tag. Now, a White House senior advisor would not commit to a timeline or price tag. And the senior advisor of the White House said having programs expire could be a possibility. He also told Fox News that we don't look at this as a number. We look at this as a program that we're going to deliver. So the decisions were made in conjunction with members of Congress. But there is unity of purpose, everybody. If that fight comes back in 2025, 2026, or any other year, we're going to be prepared to fight for it. And the American people will know just how important it is. But the good news is this. Everybody, I want you to know this. There are some parts of Biden's Build Back Better plan the progressives say are non-negotiable. Climate programs need to be funded through the 10-year budget window to ensure that the U.S. can meet global emission targets. And the $1.9 trillion federal rescue package signed in March is probably best known for the $1,400 stimulus checks. The third direct payments of the crisis distributed to a large chunk of Americans. Now, time has run out on several forms of emergency assistance in the package. So here are the programs that are wrapping up with their expiration dates. President Biden's American Rescue Plan granted a $300 per week bonus to anyone receiving unemployment benefits. And those extra payouts ended September 6th.
Let's go invite the smoking lounge to come smoke with us, shall we?
Benefits early. 2 other programs ended that day. Unemployment checks to gig workers and independent contractors during the crisis. And an emergency extension that gave jobless Americans 13 weeks of benefits. Overall, about 7.5 million people.
There's a cigar emoji in here somewhere. I just don't know where it's
at. So now, President Biden's American Rescue Plan, and the government has paid 100% of the health insurance premiums of laid-off workers who keep their job-based coverage through what's called the COBRA law. And that benefit stops September 30th. And people may need to find new health insurance because COBRA coverage is expensive. Since July 15th, the government has sent households with kids multi-family stimulus checks under a 1-year expansion of the child tax credit. The payments will total up to $1,800 for each child under age 6 and $1,500 for kids 6 through 17, depending on their income. And the final payment is scheduled for December 15th.
That's supposed to be.
Democrats and Congress are trying to keep the larger child credit going. So
That's supposed to be
should be extended
200 to 300 a month.
Tell me in the comments below,
basically.
Folks, I also have some more stimulus check information that I want you to know.
But basically they're saying if it's like if you have 2 kids or more, it's gonna stretch out to $1,500, $1,700, $1,800 per kid per year. So that's gonna break down to $200 or $300 per month.
This is a stimulus update and daily news report, and the price tag and date may have changed again. So originally, Nancy Pelosi said October 31st was the deadline for the infrastructure and reconciliation vote. Now it looks like Chuck Schumer is saying he wants it to be by the end of the week. And when it comes to price tag, President Biden just told progressives it's probably going to go down to $2 trillion. Social Security increase is going to announce their historically high COLA adjustment within a few days. I'll give you more details on that. When it comes to the debt ceiling being raised, I'll play a video clip from President Biden talking about how it
do I get a vote in this?
October 18th,
I know I gotta stay in a lot of shit so far.
Mitch McConnell responds saying have Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer do it themselves, which is going to spell disaster coming soon. I'll give you more updates.
I work 2 and 10 jobs at a time. I feel like I should get 2 and my vote should be worth 2 and 10 votes.
Updates, hit the like button down below. So where we last left off was Nancy Pelosi aims to pass infrastructure bill by October 31st. But according to Chuck Schumer, he wants it much sooner. So Chuck Schumer said, calls on divided Democrats to reach spending deal in days, not weeks. These are bold words here. What he said is, it is crucial that the House, Senate, and President come to a final agreement on the details of the Build Back Better Act as soon as possible, preferably with a matter of days, not weeks.
Oh, shit. I keep dropping my
great words that he said, but we would love to see action with Congress having multiple deadlines that have passed by and nothing done yet. Of course, everyone would love to see it in days, not weeks, but we'll believe it when we see it, which is what I think a lot of people are thinking, which, would be great, but, these are just words at this point from Congress. Also, when it comes to price tag, President Biden tells, let me get the headline here. All right, President Biden tells progressives spending package needs to be between $1.9 trillion and $2.2 trillion, coming down from that $3.5 trillion mark. So what was said here is President Biden said in a virtual meeting with a group of House progressives on yesterday, that the top line of social safety net spending package needs to come down to somewhere between $1.9 trillion and $2.2 trillion, according to 2 sources familiar with the call. Biden told the group, according to one of the sources, that was the range that he felt Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema would accept, but did not specify further within that range. Leaving the meeting, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and White House officials Monday night, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi again said that the top line number would have to be below $3.5 trillion. Nancy Pelosi said, I'd like it to be at $3.5 trillion, but we're not. The president said that. Pay attention to what the president says. So looks like the number is coming down. The dates are changing. I'll keep you updated on what happens with that. When it comes to AOC rips a possible $1 trillion infrastructure bill, saying that's the annual budget for NYC alone, but spread thin for everyone in the U.S. So here is a video clip from AOC talking more about what needs to happen with the infrastructure and reconciliation bill moving forward.
Thank you for my
Welcome to Face the Nation. These are interesting times here in Washington. We're used to the political battles being back and forth between Republicans and Democrats. But today, we find ourselves in an increasingly polarized debate between Democrats. The factions within the party, the progressives or liberals, and the moderates. We asked some of the key moderates on both sides of Congress to join us this morning, and they didn't take us up on our invitation. But we do begin today with a key progressive, New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Congresswoman, it is great to have you here in studio.
Good to be here. Thank you.
So you have this standoff right now. How real is the risk that the Democrats end up with nothing?
I know that
I believe that the entire party is committed in delivering for this country. And I know that our caucus, the House Democratic Caucus, is entirely focused on delivering for this country. But I think the question that we're having right now, and the reason why we are having this discussion right now, is because we don't want to leave communities behind. And all too often, DC politics, when we have to make a compromise, the folks that get compromised are lower income, working class families, it's healthcare, it's relief, it's communities of color. And we want to make sure that we're fighting for all of us, not just some of us. Which is why you're using your leverage right now to hold up the other $1 trillion infrastructure bill. But the head of your caucus, the Progressive Caucus, was on another network this morning, and Representative Jayapal said $1.5 trillion is just too small. That's the number that Senate moderates, Joe Manchin in particular, want to get down to.
Really?
President Biden, according to our reporting from Ed O'Keefe, our correspondent, says you're going to have to settle for about $2 trillion. Is that an acceptable ceiling for you? So here's where I think the problem is that when we talk about top line numbers, there's a lot that is hidden in that discussion. And so
wake your ass up.
This conversation shouldn't be about numbers, but it should be about what substantive programs are willing to be excluded, or that
coming from the White House.
Yeah, but the White House isn't making the demands to exclude universal child care or universal pre-K. This is coming from the more conservative wing of the Democratic Party. And those are the conversations that we need to have, because the thing is that Washington math is notoriously funny. And you can make a $3 trillion, you can make a $1 trillion bill into $2 trillion, you can make a $3 trillion bill that helps fewer people, etc. And so that's why we really need to talk about the substance of this. The budget bill that House progressives are trying to fight for, the Biden Build Back Better agenda, includes universal pre-K, free community college, expansion of Medicare. We're fighting for expansion of Medicaid. And these are the things that we are saying, in addition to the very real climate threat that we have, emissions reductions are worth standing up for. But a $2 trillion ceiling, that means you're going to have to maneuver here somewhere. Mm-hmm. The head of your caucus said this morning you're looking at shorter funding periods for programs. So instead of chopping, sort of nipping and tucking. Yes. So what is non-negotiable there for you? So, you bring up an excellent point in that the fact is that we do have to compromise with the fact that we have Senator Manchin and Sinema who refuse to support certain programs for working families. And so the compromises and options that we have before us is, do we shorten our funding programs? Do you reduce the level of funding? Do you cut programs out together? I think that one of the ideas that's out there is fully fund what we can fully fund, but maybe instead of doing it for 10 years, we fully fund it for 5 years, or we fully fund it. What are you thinking of when you throw that out as an example? So I think, I think there's so many different programs in the budget bill. First of all, I think it's unfortunate that we have to, even as Democrats, have a discussion about not having a child tax credit. I think it's unfortunate that we have to compromise with ourselves for an ambitious agenda for working people. I believe that free community college should be a standard. We should have K through 14. But this is one bill, and perhaps we can vote for more down the line. And we've discussed with the president about that, continuing that funding. But there's a wide variety of those programs that would encourage folks in their community to also reach out to their elected officials to let them know what programs they want to make sure are kept. But
what are your thoughts on what AOC has to say? If it was up to her, she could be on the same page as Bernie Sanders, where give as much as possible to as many people as possible. But is that possible? Let me know your thoughts on all this down in the comments below. Next, let's talk about the fourth stimulus check. So when it comes to the change.org petition, $2,000 per month to every American. It is currently at 2,914,000 signatures so far. And as usual, I want to keep it real with you. I want to be honest. There's no fourth stimulus check in that reconciliation package that's going to be around 3.5 trillion, and with the price decreasing down to 2 trillion, the chances of fourth stimulus check is even slimmer. So I wanted to keep it real with you. I didn't want you to plan on a fourth stimulus check, despite of what other YouTubers are saying. I just want to, be honest with you. Fourth stimulus check is not in that package. But when it comes to a Social Security increase, Social Security cost of living projection dipped slightly, but still historically high, and we are just days away from it being announced. So at this point, the Senior Citizens League is basing a 2022 COLA, cost of living adjustment for Social Security recipients, around 6 to 6.1%. And if you look at the Social Security website right here, it says, we determined a 1.3% COLA on October 13th of 2020. We will announce the next COLA in October 2021. So that's just, I would say, about within a week or so, we're going to hear about what the new COLA adjustment is. It was 1.3% last year. This year, probably going to be 6 to 6.1%. Let me know down in the comments below. If you're on Social Security, is the 6 to 6.1% a good number for you? Is that going to help out your lifestyle and spending and money coming in the bank a little better? Let me know your thoughts on that. Next, let's talk about the debt ceiling. So the U.S. could default this fall, and it would cost 6 million jobs and wipe out $15 trillion in wealth, according to this study.
It's important that we make a note that almost 3 million Americans have signed a petition for a stimulus check in the amount of $2,000. And they're trying to say they have a $3.5 trillion package that they increased the debt ceiling for, put our country more in debt, to make a $3.5 trillion package that doesn't include a stimulus check. This is unfortunate because 10 million Americans reported reported last year that they were unemployed. You mean to tell me 10 million Americans are unemployed and you won't give us a $2,000 stimulus check for a year though? You had a quarantine. Most public facilities shut down. A 3.5 package that doesn't include funding for American workers and tax-paying Americans and head of households and tax filers. That's just absurd. Legally, I want y'all to remember that we have signed a petition for a stimulus check. They've increased the debt ceiling and created a package that doesn't include a stimulus check. We got somebody who wants to speak. Yeah, hold on just a moment. Oh, the internet won't connect the video call, but they are saying something along the facts of rich white people don't want to pay taxes. They're worried about getting taxed. I think billion-dollar corporations should be getting taxed. He said they wanted to go back to slavery. The government's supposed main concerns and agendas are getting everybody vaccinated and getting everybody employed. These are all, making you work under certain conditions. They're limiting their funding for this year. Again, taxpayers fund the government. They can't be making $3.5 trillion debt deficits that don't include a stimulus check. They just can't do that, honey. They're increasing the stuff we pay for without any concern to the American economy and the lower working class. Like, we have debt, we have bills and shit. Alright, y'all, we gave Facebook and YouTube maybe like 30, 40 minutes. If y'all need to rewatch this for information, that's where it will be at. Again, please visit change.org, sign that petition for the fourth stimulus check, and vote for the Say Their Names hashtags and the Justice for the Say Their Names hashtag. Justice for George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Vanessa Gillian, Elijah McClain, Ma'Khia Bryant, Adam Toledo. Please visit vote.org if you're able to vote. Find out what you can vote for in your city and state, upcoming elections and votes. Public transportation, public housing, educational programs, after school programs, clinics, healthcare clinics, Planned Parenthood, politicians running for office. Okay. Propositions being written into bills and laws. Go vote, vote.org. All right, thank y'all for being here. My watch time, my numbers running up, my subscribers, thank y'all. You're beautiful. Your soul is beautiful. Your energy is positive. You're important to me, your community, your family, and your friends. And I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here and making me a top streamer. All of that, all of that, all of that. Thank y'all for that money that funds these podcasts and things like that. Y'all make sure you follow on Instagram and YouTube at The Cherry Franklin Show. Tell Facebook and YouTube goodbye. We gave them about 40 minutes. And now we're going to fade to the background and